Today I'm reacting to Zack Film's most unbelievable moments, from seeing the world's biggest Rice Krispie being made to a guy stealing gold by putting it up his butt. And by the way, it's only gonna get more unbelievable throughout the video.
Her hat flew off while riding the roller coaster, and afterwards, her husband climbed over a fence to retrieve it.
Oh no.
He hurried beneath the tracks, ignoring all of the warning signs. But just as he reached for the hat, he suddenly heard the roller coaster above him. Before he could move, a rider's foot slammed into his head. People on the ride felt the impact, but had no idea what had happened. And even though park workers rushed to help, it was no use. The man died an hour later.
Yep, this is Zack Films traumatizing us, y'all.
If someone caught on fire, you might think you could put it out with spit, but it would take at least a bucket full of water to put out the flames. And one spit is only about 2 milliliters, meaning it would take days to get enough, which would be too late. To actually save them, you would need a giant funnel that 10,000 people could spit into at the same time.
Yeah, I would rather burn to death, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I am not trying to get spit on by 10,000 people, bro. I'm not trying to get hooked to by 10,000 people, bro. That is something, man. You might think, no, Zack, just you. Exactly, bro. I ain't just you, bro. You're alone on this one, Zack. Zack is turning his 3 a.m. thoughts into content, yeah.
The alert went off, showing 5 nuclear missiles heading directly towards the bunker where the man was on duty. Now, he could report this to his leaders, who would immediately launch bombs back, starting a nuclear war and ending the world as we know it. But he knew that an attack like this would use thousands of bombs instead of just 5. So he waited, knowing that he could die any minute if he was wrong. Hours passed, but nothing happened. It turns out that sunlight had bounced off the clouds and hit the sensor, which detected it as nukes.
What?
And by not reacting, he basically saved the world.
Okay, now who is this man? Because this is actually an unbelievable moment, bro. Bro had the balls to sacrifice himself for respect. Yo, where's the comment that tells me who this man is? Because I'm not even joking. This guy, specifically this guy, had a pivotal change on the world, bro. Or could have changed the world. You or I might not be alive today because this guy saved Earth.
She saw something weird inside her squat
Oh, hell no. A man inside you got a little freaky.
toilet. Confused, she went outside to open the septic tank and found a man squashed inside her toilet pipe. Police tried to pull him out, but he was wedged in too tight. So they dug out the entire pipe and cut him loose. They quickly realized he was dead, wearing only his pants and holding the rest of his clothes in his hand. His face was turned toward the toilet, so they assumed he crawled into the pipe to spy on the woman, and the police closed the case. But he was actually a respected member of the community, even working with the mayor on his re-election campaign. He also protested a local nuclear power plant, and because of this, some people think he was murdered over politics. But since the case was never reopened, his death remains a mystery.
Hey man, I don't want to joke about the dead, but at least, at least bro died happily ever after, bro. You know what I'm saying? This scene is super terrifying to be in that position, to be honest. Wait, I just realized, oh my gosh, the poop part. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, never mind, bro. Did not live happily ever after, bro. Live sad ever after. Imagine you're going to take a poop and you see a dude's lifeless eyes staring into your soul while it's inside the pipe. See, that's pretty scary, bro.
The small magnet is pierced into the tongue, while a retainer is fitted on the roof of your mouth, filled with sensors. And when you flick your tongue, each movement changes the magnetic field, and those changes are sent to an iPhone. The phone reads the signal and turns it into a direction, then the wheelchair moves instantly, following the motion of your tongue. This allows you to move, even while paralyzed from the neck down.
Yo, you gotta be a freak to do this. I'm gonna keep it real. Man, like think about it. My man's, oh my, this is really impressive. I'm just stating how unique this is, bro. You gotta be like, and then you turn to the right, and like, hey, that's insane, bro. That's pretty cool. That one stuck popcorn gonna make bro dance for hours. Oh, hell nah. I just realized that's such a problem. Bro, imagine you got like that red chili pepper without popcorn, and you're like, And then, bro, you're gonna go right. You keep going right over and over and over, or pretty much going in circles.
As they sailed into the Arctic, the water froze around them, trapping their ships in ice.
Oh no.
Now, each ship was filled with enough food to last all 129 men for years. And they planned on the ice melting by the summer, but it didn't budge, even after almost 2 years. So they tried to walk back home on the frozen sea where they died, still hundreds of miles away from the nearest town. Over a century later, the empty ships were finally discovered, and inside they found human bones with knife marks, meaning they didn't just freeze to death. Some of them were eaten.
I can never imagine myself eat another human, bro. That is so foul. That is so bizarre. I couldn't fathom to think of that, bro. What? It's so tragic that even in the summer, the ice didn't melt. Being trapped in the middle of an ocean resulting in cannibalism is horrific. Yeah, bro. That's so sad, bro. Oh my gosh, bro.
He soaped up his legs and squeezed into a baby swing, hoping to win $100 from his friends. But he soon realized he was stuck. His friends abandoned him.
Okay, I'm sorry I have to pause this. Yo, screw those fans. All right, screw those fans.
Leaving him alone in the park all night. For 9 hours, the man screamed for help, but nobody came.
What?
Until the next morning when a groundskeeper found him. He called 911 and rescuers cut the swing off the chains. They took him to the hospital where doctors used a saw to free him, leaving him with swollen legs.
And can I know the aftermath with those friends? Cause are you serious? Your friend is leaving you there? That's messed up. That's just messed up. That's not a friend. That's a completely careless monster, bro. Friends? No. Traitors? Yes. Yep.
He strapped the shock collar around her neck and pressed the button to test it out. You see, she barked at everything all of the time, and he had had enough. At first, he only shocked her when she barked, and it worked like a charm. But soon, he started shocking her when she just looked like she was about to bark. And one time, he even shocked her for no reason.
Yo, this man, bro. All right, bro. Like, nah. I wouldn't even have my dog be on a shock collar to begin with. But, yo, are we serious, man?
She learned quickly and stopped barking, staying silent even when startled. Now, one night, while the house was quiet, the dog suddenly stiffened. Her ears twitched and she stared down the hall. But she didn't bark. She only stared. The man noticed her posture and shook his head while gripping the remote. But a man stepped out from behind the wall, a gun in his hand. The owner's eyes went wide, but it was too late. He was dead, and his dog kept silent, just like he wanted.
Yeah! That's a tragic ending, bro. That's what you get, bro. I'm gonna lie, Zack Films, not only is he traumatizing, bro could tell a story, man. I was hoping, like, bro, that was so tragic, where he just kept shocking the dog for no reason. Literally for no reason. And then, hey, it went back to him, bro. Let me see the comments. I'm not barking, just like you wanted. Let's go, bro. Zack fictions are getting more and more intriguing, bro. Yeah. I saw in Dog's Lore. For those that know the context of this, basically, he's a Twitch streamer, and he shocked his dog live on stream, just like instantly, because the dog went into the room. Yeah, he's honestly just got what he deserves. Exactly. You don't deserve the dog if you're just gonna ruin its life and traumatize it. Exactly, bro. You can't just do that.
The cup is attached to your skin, and the air inside is pumped out. This creates suction, pulling the skin upward and expanding your blood vessels. After a few minutes, it's removed, and tiny cuts are made on your raised skin. And when the cup is reapplied, the suction pulls out a small amount of blood. This is supposed to remove bad fluids and trigger the release of feel-good hormones. But the cups can sometimes carry bacteria, and if this gets inside the wound, it could cause a serious infection.
That is supposed to feel good? Absolutely not. Them cuts are, there's no, I ain't no scientist, but there's no way those cuts are supposed to feel good. I know it's obviously like, I'm pretty sure like a small cut, but like, no way. So how did you die? A vacuum.
If you took every grain of rice on Earth to make a giant Rice Krispies treat, how big would it be? Well, there's around 32 quadrillion grains of rice in the world today. So you would need to dump it into a bowl the size of the Loch Ness Lake, adding enough marshmallows and melted butter to fill 3,900 cargo cargo ships and stirring it with the Golden Gate Bridge as a spatula. You would have to bake it with space mirrors on a tray large enough to cover most of Beverly Hills. And when it's finally done cooking and lifted into the air, you would get a single Rice Krispies treat taller than Mount Fuji.
Okay, there you guys have it. If you want to cook the largest Rice Krispie, there you go. Zack is literally just posting every single thought that pops in his head. Yeah, stir the Golden Gate Bridge, anything to avoid using the metric system. Hey, that's smart though. That's pretty smart.
He fired a pistol at the armadillo, trying to kill it, but the bullet bounced off the animal's hard shell. It struck a fence, hitting it at an angle that changed the direction, and it went straight through the back door of his mother-in-law's home. It traveled through the back of her recliner, hitting her directly in the back. Now, thankfully, she survived, but the shot did seem just a little too perfect. Investigators called the case bizarre, but no charges were ever filed.
What? So you're telling me you shot an armadillo and it deflected off its shell onto a fence, through the window, through a chair? Yo, yeah, I just don't believe that. What? Look at her face, bro. Like, I don't believe that. This is some Tom and Jerry type of bullet anatomy here. Bro paid attention to his geometry class, bro. Literally the ultimate trick shot. I don't believe this. I genuinely don't believe this.
If you launched yourself towards Earth, you would slingshot around the planet as gravity pulled you in. But the orbit would fling you back out, speeding you up without needing extra fuel. But what if you tried this with a black hole?
Oh, hell nah.
You could ride the edge to go faster, but get too close, and the intense gravity would stretch your ship like spaghetti. And if it dragged you into the center, time and space would break down around you, trapping you for eternity.
Whoa. But that's so scary. A black hole, bro. Oh my gosh. Low-key, I was thinking, like, what if before I die, I go into a black hole? But you just don't know what, like, no one's experienced a black hole before, bro. Bro, space is really cool once you really think about it. Like, we're literally dust. Like, dust particles compared to the space of Earth. Or to the amount of space. Literally. And it's still been quiet since this drop, bro.
His opponent wrapped an arm around his throat and choked him. But this wasn't just any fight. They were competing at the Olympics.
Hey.
Right before he blacked out, he trapped the other man's foot in his right knee and twisted to the other side, ripping the ankle out of place. The opponent gave up, but the man was already dead. You see, when he tried to escape, he turned his head too far and broke his neck. Regardless, they placed a crown of leaves on his head, declaring him the dead winner.
Yeah, nah, I don't like gore. I don't like anything that involves a pain, because that right here.
Side, ripping the ankle out of place.
Yeah, I don't like that, bro. The fact that he was declared the winner despite being the one who ended up dead is straight up insane. Yeah, bro. No, I'm not gonna lie. Humans back then were crazy, bro. Like absolute demons.
He shoved the gold chunks up his butt when his boss wasn't looking. Then he walked out of the Mint building. He would take them to a gold dealer and sell them. Over 4 months, he stole 22 chunks of gold worth over $100,000. But when he went to cash the checks, the bank teller realized where he worked. Police found Vaseline in the man's locker and more gold in his safety deposit box. And after seeing the evidence, the judge found him guilty.
I'm gonna lie, I respect it, bro. He hid gold in his butt. I respect it, bro. If I was a judge smelling brown gold like that, I would straight up leave, bro. Now the Vaseline part got me dying. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Imagine putting those huge chunks of gold. Y'all saw how big those chunks of gold were. And whoop! I don't even want to get to the other details.
They drilled through his
Okay, what are we doing here?
skull and used a grasping tool to fish out the parasite.
Ooh.
You see, he had suddenly gotten splitting headaches, then started vomiting and collapsed. And when doctors scanned him, they found a tapeworm larva wiggling inside his brain. A cyst had formed around it, blocking fluid from flowing, so they pulled it out through his skull. The man survived, but if it had just been a few minutes later, the worm would have killed him.
Miracles, man. Miracles. They drilled a hole in his head. Good morning to you, Zack. Yeah, bro. Like, crazy in the opener, bro. Like, Zack Films, my man's is just insane. Like, he's so unpredictable. That's why this guy has infinite content glitch, bro. He can make anything.
If you dropped a massive sponge in front of a tsunami, could it soak up the wave?
Okay,
well,
don't work
a tsunami
like that, bro.
carries billions of gallons of water, enough to fill all of Chicago. And to absorb it, you would need a sponge as tall as the Empire State Building. But a tsunami moves at 500 miles
Holy
per hour,
smokes,
meaning the
500 miles.
sponge would be flattened instantly. You would need to build a steel frame to hold it in place and anchor it deep into the ground to actually stop the massive wave.
Thanks, Zack Films. I will definitely use this idea that you just gave me to use. Sandra has been real quiet since this dropped.
He mixed liquid nitrogen into the cocktail, and when she drank it, it smoked in her mouth. But the nitrogen was still active as it went down, quickly turning into gas. There was so much gas that her stomach actually exploded. She felt excruciating pain and was rushed to the hospital, but her injuries were so severe that they had to remove her stomach completely, and now her esophagus is connected directly to her intestines.
Oh, living without a stomach sounds like eternal pain and suffering. For those wondering, yes, you can survive without a stomach. It's obviously horrible though. No, that's just, I hate painful things, and that bro, you can't even eat normally, and food is amazing, y'all. Food is awesome. Juicy medium steaks, sushi, salmon, burgers, juicy burgers, all that, and you're not able to, bro. You have to eat finger food, bro.
Poke a small hole into the top of an egg and pour it out. Then rinse the shell out. Once dried, fill the hollowed egg with a mix of ground pepper and flour. Take 2 strips of tape and cross them over the hole, keeping the powder trapped inside. Now, since the shell is so fragile, it'll shatter instantly when thrown against an intruder, causing a cloud of powder to sting the intruder's eye.
Well, that's if you hit their eyes. And you gotta have crazy accurate aim. Bro, you need Tom Brady aim, bro. Some inventions are so insanely unique. You have to just have some respect to the people who first made it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's all laughs and giggles until you miss, bro. Like, literally. Like, my aim, I'll probably just hit his chest, bro. Like, I ain't gonna do anything.
$10 million check with your name on it, sitting in the middle of the Amazon jungle.
Hell no. Y'all, sorry, I gotta just point out. The Amazon jungle is, yeah, you get placed in the middle of it, you're not coming back alive, all right? You're not coming back alive. That's just facts.
And it's all yours. You just have to go get it.
Yep.
Now, you know you don't have the money for a plane ticket, but that's not going to stop you. You sell all your possessions and beg for money from everyone you know. Once you land, you hitchhike through remote villages. And when the road runs out, you walk for miles, hungry and exhausted. You even have to sleep in the dirt. But none of that stops you because you know the money is waiting for you. And that's the power of belief. When you truly believe in your goals, nothing can stop you, and the struggle doesn't scare you because the reward is certain.
Whoa, y'all gotta realize, so Zack Films could be traumatizing and all that, but like sometimes he can actually be philosophical and like, dude, you could apply this, lesson when we just watched to life, bro. Whatever that goal you want to achieve, whether that become a millionaire or a billionaire, if you think it's certain or make it certain that you will become whatever the goal is, you do anything to get there. Whoa, yo, this guy's insane, bro. Very rare footage of Zack being thoughtful and positive. Yeah, honestly, bro, this is actually crazy. Zack out here pushing his fans to be the best. Respect, bro. This is crazy, bro.
If you lay down on a bed of nails,
I'm pretty sure, or sorry for spoilers, this is actually cool because it actually doesn't hurt.
Your body weight is spread across thousands of points. And this means the pressure on each nail is too low to break the skin. But if one nail sticks up just a bit higher than the rest, then all that weight gets focused onto a single point. This would be strong enough to puncture your skin, which is why they need to be perfectly level.
I've seen this in the museum. I laid on one of these before. Pretty cool. Like, it might be scary. And just make sure the nails are flat. But yeah, it actually doesn't hurt. Pretty cool. If you lay on the bed of nails, no, Zack, I'm not doing that. POV in my bed before school now, yep.
Catch the wasp and place it in the freezer. Once it stops moving,
I hate
tie
bugs.
a tiny string around its body and slowly warm it to wake it up. Then it will fly around like a tiny pet on a leash. Now repeat this process 100 more times to create a flying wasp army. They'll protect you by stinging anything that comes your way, but they could also just as easily turn on you.
Yeah, you know what? I think I had enough of Zack films. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here. What the hell is this, bro?